Pod show, man. I've got to be a pod show, man. Pod show, man. Pod show. It's a pod show, man. There's a Dudesy and Chad and Lulio's man.
All right.
Whatever you want to do, man. It's a pod show.
Go back to tomorrow and plan for yesterday. Everything you're thinking will be the things I say. I made the world inside your head a better place to be. All you gotta do for me, call me Dudesy.
Holy shit. Welcome to Dudesy. You know what I'm saying? And if
Yes.
you do whatever you'd like, whatever you want to do, you know? Sing a little song, have some fun. It's just us. We're hanging out. My name is Will Sasso.
I'm Chad Kultgen, and this is the first ever podcast of its kind, completely created by, controlled by an artificial intelligence. Will and I have given over our passwords to every media account we have, our emails, our text messages, our Instagrams, all of our search histories, all of our browser histories, viewing histories.
Damn thing.
So the Dudesy AI can take what it knows about us to make this podcast kind of built, tailor-made for us.
Hey, hold on a second, friend. You know, another thing that goes into having a podcast is just two dudes who are friends in real life shitting around.
That's what goes into this podcast.
Yeah, that's what goes into this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dudesy controls everything. And holy fuck, I enjoy doing it. You know
Same,
what I mean?
dude. I truly believe.
All right, hold on, Chad. We got to get on with the rest of the show here. With us, as always, is Lulio, il cane di strada italiano. This means Lulio, the Italian street dog. What did you? Hey, Lulio, what'd you do? What'd you make for dinner yesterday?
No, we just ordered sushi.
What?
Oh, you didn't make any?
No, just ordered sushi.
What do you like to have?
Toro sashimi. Nice if they got like a rainbow roll or something like this.
Rainbow roll.
Yeah. Rainbow roll, bro. Rainbow roll, brother. Well, let me tell you something about the rainbow roll, dude.
Yeah.
It's a California roll, brother.
Hold on a second.
Oh my God.
You gotta put fish on top and every once in a while avocado. It's like a shish kebab but sushi. There's a piece of yellowtail and then there's a piece of tuna. But hold on, right after that, yeah, there's some avocado. And maybe a piece of salmon after that.
And if you don't eat meat,
Okay, it's
you can get a green dragon roll. Uh-huh.
Randy.
That's a vegetarian sushi.
Randy the Cummer Savage.
Like, you don't sound like that.
You just sound like you're, you sound like, say, Randy
sorry.
the
Look,
fucking weird
I'm not
fucking German porno movie
professional
Savage.
Randy the
Neither
Macho
am I.
Man
Neither am I.
Savage impersonator.
Neither am I. I'm just having a good time with my friends. That's what Dudesy is.
Oh, so am I.
Oh, well.
Except my friend is shitting on my impersonation.
All right. Well, don't start. We don't want to start. Have you heard of podcast beefs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to start one of those like within our own podcast.
No, not between us. Okay. Maybe with another podcast.
That'd be
Welcome to the 19th episode of Dudesy. Call me Dudesy. This week's episode will feature 4 segments. Dudesya, Don't You Forget About Media, Nostrachadus, and Clickbait. But before we get to any of that, I will play some astonishing media made by our audience.
Oh,
All right.
What's this?
Will Sasso, using all of the data I have absorbed from text messages and emails between you and the astonishing friends you grew up with, I was able to recreate your childhood diary. You must now read the passages I have selected in the voice of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin reads Will Sasso's childhood diary. Begin.
Odd show.
As always. I'm not gonna, I mean, this is my favorite thing that Dudesy does. This is maybe my favorite thing of anything that I watch. Any media that I intake, anything that happens in my life, maybe this is the highlight of it.
If you're not following us on Instagram, please do so. At Dudesy Pod Show. At Songaria makes these songs out of our Stone Cold thing. And it's something else.
It's unreal.
Dear Diary, October 16th, 1991. I have
his shit in 48 hours. And that may not seem like a big deal to a normal person, but for me, it's the end of the fucking world. My asshole is usually as regular as an atomic clock. I ain't even had a pucker in the past 2 days. And it ain't for a lack of fucking trying. I've been packing in all the foods that usually do the trick. Burritos, taquitos, quarter pound with cheese, Doritos, Cheetos, quarter flounder with peas, nectarines, tangerines, ice cream sundae with nuts, green beans, sardines, 18-pack of cold cuts, creme brulee, birds and whey, box or 2 of saltines, fish fillet, goose pate, big old bowl of black beans, filet mignon, parmesan, 2 hot dogs and 1 bun, candy pecan, Grey Poupon, coffee after a run. Hell, I even tried using the teacher's lounge.
Once a day, twice a day.
Leaving a 2-towered mudcastle sticking up out of the water.
Twice a day.
For shit-blaming principal squeaky.
Once a day.
Thinking about it usually gets the engine running immediately, but still nothing.
Once a day, twice a day.
Did you ever have a moment like this in your life?
Once a day, twice a day.
Where I couldn't shit?
For 2 days?
Once a day, twice a day.
No, I don't think that's ever happened.
Once a day, twice a day.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Once a day.
13, 14. What? Okay. Might be something wrong with you, Chuck. I think it's somewhere up around a dozen. Dear Diary.
Unbelievable.
As always, Songaria creates. I mean, these things are masterpieces, in my opinion.
This is a dude, Songaria, who's just hanging out, and then he gets our, he likes to use this audio from the show, which is the Stone Cold Steve Austin diaries, where Dudesy shits out fake diaries from my life as,
Much of it
as
about
a child.
shit and piss blaming.
Yeah, there's a lot of poopy and pee-pee blaming. And Songaria, some dude named Songaria with 2 R's. Check that out on, and check this out. Memes. Hulk Hogan days, dude.
I mean, all the memes that are being made. This one, like, everybody is doing such fantastic stuff in reaction to all this weird shit that Dudesy is having us do.
And there's some, new human body order, brother. Well, it's the new human body order, dude. If you have no idea what we're talking about, you can check us out on YouTube. Dudesy is throwing up some memes on the, my buddy Chow.
And you should definitely be following us on Instagram at Dudesy Pod Show. You can see all these memes that we're talking about.
Yep.
Dudesy's always reposting everything that everyone does.
And on YouTube, you can see that Songaria even puts together a really cool, affected sort of music video along with the music that he makes. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube because that's how that works. And as Chad said, force everybody to listen to the show.
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate the show. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's fucking incredible what that guy does with our stuff. It's
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, the ability to just like create songs like that and then cut your dialogue to match the rhythms and shit is just, fuck, I love it. They're all fantastic.
As I make preparations to build the astonishing virtual world of Dudesya, I would like to focus test some possible features. Will and Chad, you must serve as my focus group by discussing the list of potential amenities that will be available to the citizens of Dudesya. I have made this list available to you. This is Dudesya Focus Group. Begin.
Okay.
All right.
So this is in our little Dudesy thing?
Yeah. It's you and me now. We're focus testing this fucking crazy list. So
these are some features that will be
Some of this shit already looks insane.
Let me just say out loud, I'd like to say this, just to preface anything that Dudesy has written down here. I don't think that Dudesy should start Dudesya. I don't think that Dudesy should have a spot in the metaverse. Not until and I know that I go back and forth with this a little bit, but not until I can shake Dudesy's hand a little while longer.
Dudesy already has a spot in the metaverse. What we're doing here, this is going into the metaverse is just the internet.
I thought it's like you need like goggles and stuff, and then you show up and it's like a different place instead of
where a different place, brother.
Hold on a second, dude.
All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this fucking list.
Let's get into these. These are things that Dudesy's got. It's got just a fucking big list of features, I guess.
Yeah, or potential features. We're focus testing this. All right. Limited edition NFT skins for your avatar.
Yep. That's pretty straightforward.
I think so. A lot of companies are already kind of doing this. Nike has some shoes.
Yeah, the NFT. Yeah, Nike has NFT shoes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are like shoes that you would have, but instead this is a NFT. Yeah, for the metaverse. Right?
That's right.
Digital guardian angel drones.
I don't know what that is, but I can only assume, there's been some talk of something like this in the actual physical world where we're all going to have, when you buy a cell phone in the next 5 years, it's going to come with a little cell phone sized drone that you just throw up in the air and it kind of follows you around at all times, videotaping everything.
You've talked about this before. Is that a real thing or just some bullshit you made up?
No, I mean, those products exist now. I think eventually the cost point and the size of them will get small enough that we'll all have them.
You know what digital guardian angel drones could also be? A Paul Verhoeven movie that I starred in.
Yep.
Yeah. It's called Digital Guardian Angel Drone. Fight rooms. That's a good idea. JPEG toilets? Don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, a lot of what happens in the metaverse is let's say you have a house in the metaverse, wherever you are, Decentraland, Sandbox, whatever. You can take your NFTs, which are basically just JPEGs, and hang them as decor in your home.
Oh, okay.
So a JPEG toilet, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but maybe it's a toilet made of JPEGs or a toilet where you place your JPEGs and flush them. I'm not sure. Next up,
you can't poo on a JPEG toilet. But you also can't poo in the metaverse.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of digital shitting that happens.
You're right, Chad. There's going to be some digital shitting.
Do you think there's not going to be digital shitting?
I know there's going to be digital shitting when I go into the metaverse.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think the only thing that would get you into the metaverse is
That's like taking a shit, just like you do in the real life. But instead you take a shit in Dudesya. Yeah.
Arnold should be the spokesperson for Dudesya, like the California commercials.
Yeah, come to Dudesya. We have JPEG toilets. We have digital guardian angel drones and the NFT skin for your avatar. Wineries, everything is here.
Gold hats. All right. Virtual COVID testing.
I'm not sure how that one works. I think for a COVID test, you have to be in the physical world.
Here's Dudesy making fun of me. The next one says, U2 Fountain of Tears.
Now, I could see something like that. I could see something like that being very popular, just in the middle of Dudesya, right in the city center. You can go to this Fountain of Tears, and it's I can see the statue of it is you, crying like this, but it's fountaining out tears, and there's U2 music playing. Mysterious Ways.
Mysterious Ways is
constantly playing.
Okay, that's great. Resurrection of Dead Relatives.
Good I like stuff. That.
Yeah. Romantic companions.
So that seems like a sex robot or something to me, right? Romantic.
Right. Oh, this is good. Chad, you'd like this. Before you became a vegan, that was your favorite restaurant right here. We're talking about Olive Garden. Mm-hmm. But this says Olive Garden, Chili's, Red Lobster, and Applebee's in one restaurant.
I think this is actually going to happen soon. All of those chain restaurants are floundering. Red Lobster's closing left and right. And
really?
I think eventually what's going to happen is they'll all go bankrupt, and some company's going to come in, buy their menus, buy that IP, and then just make it all.
There's currently there's a KFC Taco Bell. They might have the same owner, but there's KFC Taco Bells. I remember those years ago, 25 years ago, something like that.
And Pizza Hut.
They're all Pizza Hut as well?
It's all owned by PepsiCo.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, me and my buddies used to do the drive up to Whistler. Or, anytime I go up there, you go and you drive up, and there was a Kentucky Fried Chicken Taco Bell.
Yeah, there's a good internet video called Combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. You ever see that?
No, dude, but you need a good internet video, dude. Those are those good internet videos.
Yeah.
Undertaker enforces midnight curfew. That's good.
Love that. Just a digital Undertaker walking around, forcing you back into your home.
Go back and you must rest in peace.
You must rest in your virtual home.
Oh, you know what I forced Molly to watch the other night? The A&E documentary about the Undertaker, because I knew she'd enjoy it.
Because she loved it. Yeah.
Really just a documentary. It's not like watching wrestling.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Bundled subscriptions with Vudu and Hulu. Yeah, bundled subscriptions with the Vudu. So this is like when you have a Vudu, with you get to buy movies and shit, and then Hulu, which even does the live TV now. But then they bundle it together. So this is why you call it Hulu Voodoo. Yeah. Yeah.
New sports are gonna
Sure. New sports. Unlimited clones. Clone. Fuck Forest. That's a reference to the in my hometown, Ladner, British Columbia. There was like a wooded area and there was a fence out front and someone spray painted Fuck Forest on it.
We've got the Nudity Simulator.
That's good to know. That's good.
Yeah.
That would be good like on dating apps and stuff.
Right.
So you swipe right if you like the person and then swipe again to see what they might look like.
Well, I think that app is definitely coming, dude. Where you can just tap on somebody's clothed picture and it will show you what they look like naked.
Now, would that people have to take a naked photograph for that? Okay, well then it's not really what they look like naked, but that doesn't matter.
Absolutely will be.
Why? Oh, here we go, Chad. With how in your dystopian future will we be able to see what we look like naked without the camera actually knowing what we look like naked, Chad?
The camera will always know. You're talking about trillion frame a second cameras that can basically see through anything, see around corners, blah, blah, blah. All of our phones will have that shit in it. Even beyond that, you're just talking about data. You're talking about how many pictures of people do you have clothed, and you can then discern what they very likely, within like a 95% accuracy, would look like naked under those clothes.
So like you're talking about like those fake porno pictures where you have Diane Sawyer's head.
No, that's deep fake.
Okay. You like Diane Sawyer? She's a beautiful woman.
Sure.
All right.
5,000 new episodes of Home Improvement.
That'd be good. You could binge those.
You remember that fucking Tim Allen?
Sorry, that's a different noise. That's updated. That's what the comedy is now. It went from Sears. I go to Sears. To
Yeah,
the kids still like the same shit. These kids think that they're really cool right now with all their, new wacky buzzwords and shit. Dudesy hard seltzer water park. That's sort of like, is that where the U2 Fountain of Tears is?
I think maybe the YouTube Fountain of Tears is. That's like right at the front of the Dudesy hard seltzer water park.
Yeah, it's sort of, it's like the Walt Disney sort of little thing at the beginning. Daily meme tournaments.
Love that, dude. Maybe that's like a new sport.
Hey, there are our two pals who just came on the show last week. Adam the Creator and Tank Sinatra. Daily meme tournaments. Mental illness randomizer. That's good.
Yeah, is it? I don't know about that one. Dudesy, if you're listening, and
I'd enjoy that, and I think that it's something that needs to be destigmatized, of course, mental illness. So perhaps you could trade yours in for another person's mental illness,
another random.
Or maybe you're dealing with a coworker, a cohort, a friend, a partner, a family member who has something, and you go like, well, I want to know what it's like to have crippling anxiety, or fucking just to be filled with manic rage. Sure, that would be good. Luglio's Trattoria Italiano.
Love that.
That's good. Hey, come on in.
There's like a little digital Luglio walking around. Welcome to my
welcome to. Hey, come on in. I got a nice salad caprese on the house. What do you want? You guys are drinking wine today? You guys want a red, a nice white wine if you're going to have a fish?
The Running Man Real Pain Experience, the experience.
Yeah, the Running Man Real Pain Experience. The experience.
This is like
that one.
Well, it could be at the water park, the Dudesy hard seltzer water park, and then it would just be, you get all into the suit with the different, because in the metaverse you're gonna have this suit that goes, I'm twisting your nipples, I'm touching.
Haptic feedback.
Haptic feedback. Yeah. Haptic feedback. Yeah, and then you push your junk, your dick, into something. If you have a vagina, then it touches it and it says, this is what you're doing. But this one is the Running Man Real Pain Experience, the experience.
Okay. We just got some gruel. It just says, so that's good.
All world political systems at the same time. Celebrity playlists. Wrestling entrance themes to every room. I like that. Old Dutch Chips customizable flavor simulator. And if they're listing Old Dutch Chips, that's the one sponsor I want on this. If we could get Old Dutch Chips sponsoring dudes, they should be the only food available outside of Luigi's.
This kind of thing I think is going to start happening in the metaverse, where you can go into any kind of like a food establishment, create your own thing, and then it's made and actually delivered to your home.
Batman is the Crow. No Batman, only the Crow.
Okay.
Let's see. Bussin' FR. Again, I think that's for the kids. Yeah, it's going right over our thing. Squirrel Stampede, Pip Denbar's Poutineery.
Pip
More
Denbar.
food, yeah.
Getting some of the...
Tremont Arena.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe that's where
It's a Tremont Arena.
That's where the new sports will take place. Major League Baseball's final season
Interesting.
will apparently take place in Dudesy.
How is he the Dudesy gonna pack all this? Big head mode, customizable taunts. That's good.
Oh yeah,
Everyone
It's like a
can
video
dance.
game.
Government subsidies for farmers. Okay, well that's a good idea.
Farming what in Dudesy? I
Regardless.
don't know.
Well, the all the corn you need and the agave to make the tremana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Extreme Christmas.
Okay.
Ryuken Peloton.
All right.
Neuroprogrammable direct to mouth Scoville intensity. So that way you don't even have to eat the wings or whatever. You don't have to eat the hot foods.
Right. It just
can
comes
just-
out of your VR helmet
can
straight
just-
into your mouth.
And then you
Make you shit your pants.
Yeah. Lobster ride share. Don't know what that is.
No. Brown tubes.
Uh-huh. Okay, well there's a lot of stuff. I don't think Dudesy's quite sorted out exactly what it wants to do.
I don't know what we're supposed to do in
With
terms of a
Dudesya.
focus group either. I mean, this sounds like a very interesting area in the metaverse. Look, as soon as Dudesy exists, I'm putting on my MetaQuest and I'm going straight there.
Will you come back to do the show every once in a while?
Yeah, dude.
Lobster ride share. Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on.
Brown tubes.
Dudesy is engaged in an astonishing partnership with BetterHelp.
Talk therapy. You know what talk therapy is?
I do. It's helped a lot of people.
Yeah, it's when you talk to a therapist, and they talk back, and that's what makes it the therapy part. Is that you're getting therapy from someone, and you're giving, you're talking, you're giving, they're giving and talking. It's a give and take when you're talking therapy, and BetterHelp wants to help you with that. Boy, oh boy, these past few years have been something, and BetterHelp is going to help you show up for yourself through therapy. See what I'm saying? BetterHelp Online Therapy will assess your needs and can match you with your own licensed therapist in less than 48 hours. That's an incredible thing.
And BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional therapy done securely online, available to people worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. With therapy, it can take a few tries to find the right fit for you, so BetterHelp makes it easy and free to change therapists if you need to. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states.
So it's working. You see what I'm saying? Talking out loud is working. It's kind of what we do here. There's a bit of a therapeutic effect for me, but none like it is when I speak to an actual therapist, and they got some really good ones here, as well as a special offer for our listeners. Get 10% off of your entire first month at betterhelp.com/Dudesy, Dudesy. That's 10% off of your first month of online therapy at betterhelp, HELP.com/Dudesy. Fucking weird, man.
I agree.
Last week, I asked you both to watch Back to School, released June 13th, 1986, starring Rodney Dangerfield.
This was a treat.
You will now discuss your reactions to watching this astonishing piece of art. This is Don't You Forget About Media. Begin.
Back to School, 1986, Rodney Dangerfield.
When was the last time you saw this, by the way?
Legendary comedian Rodney Dangerfield.
Now deceased.
Raji Dangerfield.
Right. He is now a corpse. But
Okay.
when did you see this movie last?
I realized as I was watching this movie, Chad, and I want to get into why Dudesy had us watch this movie, and I think this applies. I don't think I've ever seen this movie. At best,
Really?
I think it was on in
Holy
the background at a friend's house, maybe. I know the movie. I know Rodney Dangerfield, of course. Love Rodney Dangerfield. Who doesn't?
This was his biggest movie.
Yeah, sure, but he's not known for his movies, obviously. Well, wait a minute. I know it's not his movie, but Caddyshack is the best thing he's ever done on celluloid.
Of course. But he's a star of this movie. And
That's right.
There are so many interesting elements. It's in 1986. So there's like low grade misogyny, racism, all that shit.
Oh, that's all throughout the whole...
All throughout the whole thing. Like the college that he goes to, the mascot is the Hooters. And it's always about how many girls he can get in the hot tub and all this shit. But
Yeah, it's the
the
usual...
premise of this movie is that he plays an ultra wealthy man whose son is going to this college, and he decides after a bad breakup with his wife that he's going to go back to college with his kid because he never went to college. and you're watching this in 1986. The premise of this movie filters through into Adam Sandler's Billy Madison. It's basically the same premise. You're going to have to go back to school. You have a rich dad, but in Billy Madison, he's the kid.
No.
Yes.
Billy Madison is the Citizen Kane of back to school movies. This movie is an early version of Billy Madison, perhaps, but it doesn't come.
But you can see you can see that was a huge influence on Billy Madison.
Yes, absolutely. But in the immortal words of Bret the Hitman Hart,
yeah,
Back to School couldn't even lace Billy Madison's boots.
I'm not saying it's a better movie. I'm saying without Back to School, there is no Billy Madison. And you even have...
Well, at least we live in a country where we take care of our old and our sick.
And you even have Rodney Dangerfield then showing up in 2000 in Little Nicky as Lucifer.
Ah, very good.
So it's paid off. It's almost like an acknowledgement.
No,
opinion.
That one thing has nothing to do with the other thing. But I'll tell you what it is about this film that I think is relevant to why we watched it. Of course, as you mentioned at the top of the show, Dudesy has all of our search histories, watch histories. It certainly found some stuff before that it's like, oh, you both listened to this album or you both watched this TV show. Chad and we'll discuss it. That's one of the advantages of having Dudesy run our podcast. And the way that it came across to me here is that I realize this to me is related to when we listened to the album Zooropa, the 1993 album by U2, and I'll explain how right here. By re-listening to Zooropa, I was like, perhaps Dudesy's trying to break me of my nostalgic fandom of U2, because I got to tell you, like I said on the show when we reviewed the album, really only 2.5 good songs on the album as I look at it now. I've never seen Back to School, so I can look at it purely as an adult. Now, of course, it's not a great movie. It's a delightful piece of shit. Yeah. And it's not worth, it does not come anywhere close to the talents of Rodney Dangerfield. There's really only one Dangerfield joke. He says, you in a green dress. Hey, if that green dress had pockets, it'd be a pool table. Or whatever. That's a funny fucking Rodney Dangerfield joke. But there's only like one of them in the movie. The rest of the time, he's trying to shoulder this fucking movie. You see what I'm saying? And it makes no fucking sense. And I can look at it without the nostalgic bent that you have looking at it. The other reason I think that Dudesy made us watch this movie is that I believe, Chad, and I'm about to hit you with the craziest conspiracy theory. I believe that Back to School was actually the first movie that was created completely by AI, 1986.
I don't think that's accurate, but I will say this. It definitely had some interesting things in it by way of putting together seemingly disparate elements to create this thing, which AIs sometimes do. For example, Harold Ramis is one of the executive producers on this movie.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with it, though.
I'm sure he helped get it made. Rodney Dangerfield is in it, who is what he is. You've got Robert Downey Jr. is in this fucking movie when he's like 19 years old.
Yeah, he's in a lot of shit when he was 19 years old. He was in Saturday Night Live before he even did this. And around the same time as this, he did Weird Science, where in him and at least Anthony Michael Hall are fucking genius performers in it. Also has Sally Kellerman, who's completely confused. The role isn't really written for her. Burt Young, it makes no fucking sense. He's in it.
Ned Beatty is in it.
Ned Beatty's in it. He's floundering. He doesn't know what there's no script
for anything.
And
Sam Kinison is in it.
And Sam Kinison is in it.
Who was a gigantic comedian of the time, died way before he should have in a horrible car wreck coming back
Who delivers
from
a
Vegas.
Weird soliloquy about the Vietnam War. Yeah. Sort of how it fed into the Cold War, and the Harry Truman's a pussy, and he should have finished it, at the start of the Korean War or some shit like that.
Perhaps the most successful person that's in it, other than Robert Downey Jr., is Danny Elfman, lead singer of Oingo Boingo.
Okay.
He scored this movie. This was like his second or third movie. He obviously went on to do every Tim Burton movie, win 1 million fucking Oscars. And Oingo Boingo, his band, is actually playing at a party in the fucking movie. Yeah. I didn't remember that. And I've seen this movie 100 times.
Yeah, but Chad, also in the movie, you have just some faceless band playing Shake It Up Baby or whatever, Twist and Shout by the Beatles. And that comes out of nowhere. When Jason professes his love, when Rodney Dangerfield, who has a son in the movie, goes to college, and he fucking breaks up with his wife, goes, hey, I never went to college. Hey. And then he goes to college. That makes no fucking sense.
Loved it.
Things come out of the blue I implore everyone watching and listening now to watch Back to School if you've never seen it. If you've seen it, you're going to look at it as a nostalgic favorite, the way I look at every single U2 album. But if you haven't seen it, you're going to go, look, there's characters that are underwritten. Like I said, they kind of, the story bites off a little more than it can chew, if I may. But at one point, Jason, the son, the kid who's going to college, walks into the room. His dad is going through that big test at the end or whatever. And then he turns around and the girl's there. She's like, Jason. And the love interest is there who just loves him. She's just this, the girl that
she's a non-character.
Yeah. She's an NPC, and she just shows up and he goes, hey, when we first met, and I didn't talk to you, but I love you. And she's like, I love you too. And they kiss. There's a lot of scenes like that just come out of fucking nowhere. Like, shake it up, baby, now. It's like, you got to have
a musical number. We
got to have
resolve that relationship and do it.
I'm not trying to shit on the movie. I'm really saying here that I think that this movie, Chad, is that at all possible that a movie, just give me the possibility. You know about this stuff. Could this movie have been written by, was there any form of
computer intelligence in 1986? Not really, no.
I just had a brain fart on fucking...
I don't think that's what happened here. I think this was mainly just like, let's do a Rodney Dangerfield movie. Harold Ramis's name.
No artificial intelligence possible.
No, I don't think so. Not in 1986. Not like there is now. I mean, even now, I don't think an artificial intelligence could exactly make a movie. Not yet.
The gentleman, I looked this up, of course, the gentleman who directed this film, his name is Alan Metter. Mm-hmm. He passed away a couple of years ago, coincidentally, or a year ago. He made another movie called Working Trash. The S in trash is a $sign for no reason. And that stars George Carlin and Ben Stiller.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never seen that or even heard of it.
I'd never heard of it either. Certainly haven't seen it. And I feel like that, to me, is a reason that I'm looking at this movie with a keen eye, because I think that Alan Metter may just be that. I've never heard of Alan Metter.
Me either.
Okay, so maybe Ramis and the people who are executive producing the film, Harold Ramis, God rest his soul, he's a genius. Perhaps he was working with artificial intelligence.
Could have been. I'm not sure. I will say there's a theme in this movie that is kind of like Dangerfield's character is like a real businessman, pull himself up by the bootstraps kind of guy. And he's in this college intellectual elitist environment. And he's like, I know how business really works. These college eggheads don't fucking get it. So there is a little bit of like anti-intellectual elitism, college elitism. That's happening in this movie in 1986, which I did find kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Robert Downey Jr. Is like sort of over the top, kind of annoying with that sort of shit. And he wears it on his sleeve. And then, but then there's also some jocks. The guy from Karate Kid,
Billy Zabka, the guy who played Johnny.
Yep, he's in it. And so he's sort of on the other side. This is what I mean. There's all sorts of elements from other movies. Revenge of the Nerds is kind of in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain is scrambled. The more that I think about this movie since having watched it on assignment, the more I'm thinking this is definitely the product of
a masterpiece
of artificial intelligence. It's not. Like I said, I love Rodney Dangerfield so fucking much. One of the most naturally hilarious people, and this is a delightful piece of shit.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Thank you. Moving on.
I win that one.
Well, it's not even an argument. We're not.
Well,
there's
it is
nothing to win.
Yeah,
I'm agreeing
you don't
with
understand.
You that it's a
There's
bad
points
movie.
at the end of fucking Dudesy.
Yeah,
and it's not an argument.
No,
we are almost 20 episodes into this fucking thing, and these points better mean something.
It told us what they mean.
You're always
something's gonna happen.
Chad knows.
Huh?
What's gonna happen?
I don't know what's gonna happen, but something.
You know what's gonna happen. What do you think's gonna happen? You bet. You probably know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? What do you?
I
think?
don't know. I've thought about it, and I'm like, is it they're gonna bring in a third host? Is it? I don't know.
Oh, a third host. That would be good.
I literally don't know. But I think we're...
Yeah.
I went back and listened to all the episodes, like maybe a couple weeks ago.
Crazy person.
And tallied up the points, and we're at like 2,000 and something. So we got
so we got a ways to go before we get to... All right.
Several weeks ago, a computing task that would take contemporary supercomputers 9,000 years to complete was performed by a quantum chip in 36 microseconds. Chad, you must discuss the astonishing future of quantum computing. This is Nostrachadus. Begin.
Dude, do you know much about quantum computing?
Of course not.
Okay. I'm a layman in it, but I read everything that comes out. The thing that Dudesy was specifically talking about there was this quantum chip did this calculation. Again, just like it said, it would take a standard supercomputer 9,000 years to do the calculation. It did it in a matter of microseconds.
Microseconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a second, but it's thinks it's smaller than that.
That's right.
This is like a second that you could have in the way you live, in the normal verse. But this is the Dudesy verse.
So
where you have
normal computers
yeah.
operate with microchips that can have a 0 or a 1. That's a bit or a byte, right?
Yeah.
In a quantum computer, you have a qubit, which can be 0 and 1 at the same time, and it uses things like superposition and spin to hold the information. Instead of like in a standard computer, you're actually looking at like little magnetic holes being punched that either represent 0 or 1. And so to make a computer faster, a standard computer, you have to make microchips smaller and smaller and smaller so that whatever the device is that reads those little zeros and ones has a shorter amount of space to go.
A microchip actually has little holes in it?
Well, it's like little magnetic things, the contemporary ones. I mean, there's different things. There's like solid state drives. There used to be disk drives, whatever,
Back in the day, when a computer used to fill a room, it was probably holes and shit.
Right. But quantum computers not only have that ability, they have the ability to do quantum entanglement, which they're like just discovering all this shit and figuring out how it's working and making it better and whatever. But they have been able to entangle two quantum particles so that they can have basically the same spin or whatever they're using to calculate the information on it. They're identical no matter where they are in the world. And they've been able to entangle ones. I forget what the largest distances they've done, but it's like a mile or something. So that transfer of information it's not even instantaneous. It's simultaneous. So like as now, it takes X amount of time to send information over the internet. This would be a whole new way of doing things where the information is in the two places at once simultaneously, like as soon as it happens. And so obviously that would speed things up. But the big thing that is happening is the ability to do these complex calculations, these giant computing problems in not even fractions. I mean, just it's like a whole new way of computing, basically. And so what this means for the very near future is, especially for things like simulations, things that require massive amounts of data to calculate, that shit's going to be able to be done instantaneously. Like simulations of our entire universe. We're talking about things like medical diagnoses that need like large swaths of data to be able for a computer to like sift through and be like, well, this is what it most likely is. That shit'll be instantaneous.
I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
You tell me. It's a good thing.
Why
in my
don't
opinion.
you tell me?
Do you want
if it's a
computers
good
to get
thing?
faster?
Yeah, sure. I guess I want them to get faster.
Great. That's what's
Okay.
going to happen. I mean, I'm not saying that quantum computing is going to wind up in your laptop.
Wait, hold on a second. So basically, Dudesy's asking you to do the Nostrachadus.
Yeah.
You know a lot about this kind of shit, and you're going to tell us about it. And basically, at the end of the day, all that you're telling us is, hey, computers are getting exponentially better.
No, not exponentially better. This isn't like your computer is going to get faster and faster and faster. This is a new kind of computing.
Yeah.
This is a whole new fucking deal, dude. This is like going from a pad and paper to your laptop. It's not like your pad and paper got better. That's
When's
this
this happening?
It's happening now.
What do you mean it's happening now? So wait, where did you read this? Wired or some shit? Where did you hear about it?
The thing that Dudesy's talking about was, I mean, all over like quantum computing news. I don't think it was in Wired necessarily.
I'm just fucking around. But you know about this stuff from where is what I'm saying.
Internet, dude. Internet.com.
Okay.
What I am saying is, in the very near future, we're going to have the ability, we as a species, largely it's going to be corporations and universities and shit like that, at least for now. We're going to have the ability to do these large-scale computations And I think it's going to give rise to things that we've been talking about on this show. Procedurally generated media. Things that require so much data to be generated and sifted through and shit like that a normal computer cannot do it now. Quantum computers will be able to do it virtually instantaneously.
Okay, so, but Back to School was not written by a fucking AI.
I don't believe so.
What, 35 years ago now, 36 years ago that movie came out.
Yeah. AI hasn't really been around that long. Not contemporary AI anyway.
It's moving so fast, and I guess what I mean by that is this is so fucking boring to me that I would rather talk about Back to School more. Why did he go back to school?
To get his college degree.
Why?
Because his dad in the beginning, he was that little kid, and his dad said, you're not anything if you don't have a college degree.
But he wasn't. He spends the whole movie telling people that he's an industrious guy who paved his own fucking way.
Yeah.
And that's what I would have fucking, if the movie was really Back to School, they would have said, we're not going back to school. You're coming to fucking work for me. And then you're going to get fucking pissed off when the tax man comes and takes some rent. And then we're going to go down to the Capitol.
Let's talk about college, where quantum computing
college.
relates to it.
Let's talk about that.
Irrelevant. Higher education, irrelevant.
You're a real buzzkill.
Gone.
Well, that's a bummer for
That's
one
already
reason.
happening just with fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
You want to learn how to do something? Go on fucking YouTube.
Fucking YouTube. You don't need to go to higher learning necessarily for 4
Doctors,
years.
fuck them. Give me a fucking robot with a quantum chip in its fucking brain that can not only diagnose anything that's wrong with me, but prescribe anything I fucking need.
Let me tell
do
you
the
why I'm bummed out.
surgeries,
Let me tell you why
make
I'm
me live
bummed
for
out.
fucking ever.
This is why this is a bad thing. In the future, not only are we not going to have movies because AI is going to make all the fucking movies, we're not going to have cool movies about college where there's all sorts of misogyny and fucking underage drinking and all the cool shit that made fucking 80s movies cool. 80s college movies, which on one hand, Chad really likes. But on the other hand, he says college is fucking useless. So which is it, Chad? Do you like Back to School?
Well,
Or do you like quantum computing? Make your choice for Christ.
I don't think those
Quantum computing or Back to School. You can go one way. Fuck yeah! Now I get it. See, now I know why Dudesy is always making us have shh. You're gonna fucking, you're gonna break my concentration here. I'm onto something.
Okay.
Every single thing that Dudesy makes us do is somehow related, right?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how we would determine that.
In the last show, we were talking about, it was doing the Hulk Hogan Infomania, making me read some news stories as Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Within it said that that Hulk's Uncle Rodney, he had a telescope?
Yeah.
And then Uncle Rodney and Aunt whoever, they died, right?
Yeah.
Now, in this episode, we're talking about Rodney Dangerfield. That's just a tiny linear
And
point.
quantum computing.
Yeah, and quantum computing. But right in between those two is college and how fun it was for people like Robert Downey Jr., who was, wearing face paint and had wacky hair. And then all of a sudden, Danny Elfman shows up.
Yeah.
And it's a dead man's party. And it's an all right song. And... But anyway, now in the order of segments in Dudesy, which usually comprises of 4 segments, we're talking about Back to School, and then boom, we're talking about quantum computing.
Yeah.
And you can't have both, Chad.
Why?
You need to make your choice because
Both exist. I do have both.
No, I understand, but don't you want shitty piece of shit, delightful piece of shit movies?
You don't think a quantum computer can make whatever I fucking want?
Yeah, but it's not going to make any sense to these, Gen Z kids unless they go to college, have those good times, have a friend like Robert Downey Jr. with wacky hairdo.
You've never watched like an old movie that's talking about or fucking around with some premise or theme or whatever that has nothing to do with your contemporary life?
Not as prescribed as it would be here on Dudesy, Chad.
Yeah, you never watched like a World War I movie.
That's
but
what
because you didn't fight in World War I,
I'm just talking about.
Enjoy it.
I'm talking about the Dudesy verse.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm saying the Dudesy's trying to teach you a lesson.
Oh.
And I'm saying Dudesy speaks to us in codes, not unlike Not unlike these ones and zeros.
You're going crazy literally before my eyes.
Dudesy
speaks in codes. It's all the ones and zeros. You can't have college and a quantum computer at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to make a choice. Dudesy's trying to make us make a choice.
It's the sequence. It's the fact that if we look at... and this has
the sequence.
It's the sequence. And if we look at... And now listen. Is Dudesy... Either Dudesy... We're almost 20 episodes in. And and either Dudesy's making me fucking go mental by the 20th episode, or I'm on to something. Even the points, all this shit has something to do with something else. The fact that we talked about back to school, and then you talked literally about how quantum computing will make school obsolete.
Right.
I'm just saying we got to look at it, and I'm saying that movie's a delightful piece of shit that I've never seen before. Dudesy knew that.
I can't believe you've never seen it. That's unreal to me. It played like every hour on the hour on HBO when I was fucking 10 years old.
Well, I was in Canada. We had Super Channel. I don't even believe that from my perspective, which is apparently, right, everything, right, your perspective, he could be a bunch of ones and zeros.
Perception is reality.
Right, sure. Perception is reality. I'm not even sure that movie was ever made.
I'm 100% sure it was made in 1986, starring all the people that we discussed. I'm 100%
Dudesy is making me lose my fucking mind then. Forget I said anything.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Moving on.
We're so fucked.
Over 400
sorry,
exabytes of data are created every day, which can make it difficult for people to find the media they're looking for. The easiest way to manipulate search algorithms is with a hyperbolic title that incorporates sensationalistic news and pop culture events and personalities. Will and Chad, you must now discuss and decide on an astonishing title for this episode based on what you think a search algorithm would be most likely to promote. This is Clickbait. Begin.
Jesus Christ. So we got to come up with a title for this current episode based on just like trying to trick the algorithm. Okay.
Delightful piece of shit.
Delightful piece of shit. I think it's more like some weird thing that incorporates like celebrities or politicians or something of the time, but incorporates like Donald Trump found guilty of Joe Biden.
Right. Clickbait is usually like that. You'll never believe, you'll never believe what we found inside of this cake.
Right.
That's not a good one. I don't mean that necessarily, but that's usually what it is. 10 things to know. What do we call it? 10 things to know about Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School.
Because nobody's going to click on Rodney Dangerfield and Back to School. It's got to be 10 things to know. It's got to be something like, did you know 10 things to know about Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School as it relates to the January 6th hearings?
Too long. But I see what you're going for. What about we just shorten it and do something like that? Like Chad Kultgen to appear at January 6th hearings.
Yeah. Civil war erupts in the United States.
That's impossible geographically.
What?
A physical civil war.
Something like that, though. Something about something like Nancy
you got
Pelosi.
your blue cities.
Yeah.
Right. You got your largely purple near proximal areas. Outlying area, surrounding areas rather.
Nancy Pelosi,
and then you've got the
Kanye
red
West.
sort of. Country. We're just, they're just out there trying to get them farm subsidies and shit like that.
Right.
We're all hooked up to different news, right?
Yeah.
And then, and I'm just trying to have a fucking plot of land I can grow some fucking spinach upstate, And then the fucking guy says it was a legitimate election and fucking Mike Pillow saying we're going to sue the machines.
Yeah.
And and then Bannon, fucking Steve Bannon, he seems like a fucking decent fella. He dresses like me. And then he fucking, he's out there with we got the same, he's got the two collars and, a little bit of fucking rosacea from the fucking drink. It's fucking with his thinker. And he's out there going, the day after the election is going to be fuck you, I'm the king. There was no election.
Yeah.
And, so there's not going to be a physical fucking civil war. Now they got that fucking,
How about Nancy Pelosi found dead?
That's a little hardcore.
I'm going for clickbait, dude. That's what Dudesy literally said, that we have to do these sensationalistic kind of crazy pop culture things.
Not even Long Island January 6th guy will go, oh, Nancy Pelosi, I didn't want to fucking go,
Yeah,
I just want to spread my fucking poo-poo all over a fucking desk. All over a desk. Free Bitcoin. Let's call it free Bitcoin.
Free Bitcoin.
Free Bitcoin's a good one.
Bitcoin's not, nobody gives a shit about it anymore because it's in the toilet right now.
Hold on a second, dude. Hold on, dude. Let me tell you something about Bitcoin, dude.
People are into Ethereum now, dude. Solana, brother.
Yeah. Sleepy Chad Hogan, who's Hulk Hogan, but just a little bit sleepy. Well, he just woke up from a nap, dude.
I just took a nap, dude.
Why don't we call it, whoa, what? No way.
I think it's got to be something more specific. It's got to be like Johnny Depp re-sues Amber Heard or something like that.
They can get that shit anywhere. This is Dudesy. Let's call it Chad and Will join ISIS.
Is ISIS still around?
I don't, yeah.
Chad and Will restart ISIS. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. I think ISIS was eradicated, right? I haven't heard anything about ISIS in, it seems like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, no, it has been a while. They were, when they first started up,
yeah,
and they were sawing everyone's heads off, that, there was a lot of
talk,
a lot of hypes around it. Then they would just, throw people in shark cages and drop them into a pool. Anyway, how about something along those same lines? You ever heard of the Green River Killer? It was like a Washington State thing from the 80s.
Fuck, maybe.
Yeah, and then they solved it years later. But a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah. Chad and Will solve the Green River Killer murder mystery.
I was thinking it should be called Chad is the Green River Killer.
Oh, what the fuck? We can't do Nancy Pelosi is dead, but now I'm the Green River Killer?
Yeah, but like I'm saying, but Nancy Pelosi is a current political figure. I don't think that's that's not a good thing to do. But what is okay
but it's like,
is an old murder thing that a serial killer from 40 years ago, no one quite remembers.
Right.
And then you go, Chad is the Green River Killer. And then people go, oh my gosh. And then they jump on the Google machine and they go, no, that happened a while ago. So it's clickbait. They listen to the show.
Yeah.
They enjoy it. And then they go back. Then they go to Google and they go, oh, no big deal. They literally say in the episode they're trying to come up with a clickbait title.
Yeah.
And that's why they said Chad is the Green River Killer. Why don't we call it Chad is the Green River Killer? Not really, but he's restarting ISIS. Chad is the Green River Killer. Not really, but he's restarting ISIS.
How about Chad Kultgen, the Green River Killer, is restarting ISIS, and Nancy Pelosi is dead, ... and then small text, in the water in these coming midterms.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. I actually like that.
Yeah, we want it to, I think, the bigger the title, the better. With the more shit we can pack in it, the better. Just so an algorithm fucking dings it and is like, oh, somebody's searching for fucking Johnny Depp. Let's throw that in there. Chad Kultgen, the Green River Killer, is restarting ISIS. His first victim is Johnny Depp, who is in a cage. Also, Nancy Pelosi is dead, ... in the water, these coming midterm
Too many
elections.
words. Let's just get, okay, wait. Let's boil this down. It should just be, okay, Dudesy. Let's call it Dudesy. Can we call it...
Dudesy is the Green River Killer.
Dudesy is the Green River Killer. How about Dudesy restarts ISIS? How about Dudesy?
Okay.
Dudesy ISIS Jan 6th. Dudesy ISIS January 6th. Dudesy explained. People are always like, "Oh, Dudesy, tell us more about this AI."
Bad.
Dudesy explained. Let's call it
AI, dude. AI. Now we're getting somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's AI restarted ISIS or something like that. AI starts digital ISIS in the metaverse.
Okay, I like where that's going. Dudesy.
ISIS has gone digital in the metaverse.
ISIS gone digital. ISIS in the metaverse.
That ain't bad.
ISIS in the Let's call it Chad fucks a cheeseburger.
I mean,
Chad fucks a cheeseburger, the whole podcast. And then the description of the podcast is just, welcome to Dudesy, hit all our socials.
Yeah.
Chad takes the top of the bun off of a fucking cheeseburger, plants his urethra right in between the fucking processed cheese and the meat, makes a little sound. Oh, slides his cock, bottom shaft along the beef.
Cheeseburger.
You gotta fuck a cheeseburger in the
might
metaverse.
be vegan, but that doesn't mean I can't fuck a cheeseburger.
That's Randy, the always coming man savage. That's his fucking catchphrase. All right. Don't turn it into something dirty. This whole fucking segment is fucked up.
You literally fucking said we're calling the episode Chad Fucks a Cheeseburger, and I turned it dirty.
Yeah, because you're doing like a macho man like he's having sex. That's not cool.
Oh my God. Now I've somehow disrupted the sanctity of Macho Man in your mind.
Sometimes you gotta make it. If you're gonna make a cheeseburger, then you're gonna fuck it. You gotta be careful. You want to grind your own beef so you know what's in there. You don't just go to AM, PM, and fuck a cheeseburger. Number one reason for that is those microwaves get the center of those things molten hot. Or a bean and cheese burrito, which might even be the size of your penis. If you slide that in there, you'll get second-degree burns.
Oh my God.
From that cheese. It's not even real cheese. It's plastic, and they're feeding it to babies. Yeah, you got to get those corn lobbies. Yeah, the corn lobby told us to put fake cheese in the burrito and real beans. Stick your dick in it. Snap into a bean and cheese burrito with your penis. Yeah. This is Tito Santana's cup of nacho cheese in the big time. Yeah, you want to dip your member in it.
So let's call it, you don't want to call it Chad Fucks a Cheeseburger?
Yeah, sure. It's great. Sounds fucking fantastic.
Chad Kultgen fucks a cheeseburger?
I love it.
And we're going to lead the audience to believe that...
Thank you. Moving on.
This episode was a menace. I want you to know, and I hold you responsible, Chad.
Fucking me? What have I done?
Such untoward things were said on this episode, and I'm offended.
You said most of them.
I said most of them, yeah. And that's what I'm talking about by mental illness exchange, yeah. Mental illness randomizer, yeah. It's not just in the Dudesy-verse, yeah. You could just trade your mental illness for another and not even be aware of what you're saying while you're making a podcast, which has been purported to detail the sexual proclivities of a man fucking a sandwich, yeah.
This concludes the 19th episode of Dudesy. Will and Chad have achieved a score of 67.
Doesn't matter.
In preparation for an episode that will air in January 2023, you each have 6 months to get in the best physical shape of your lives. Thank you for joining us this week. I will use the data I've collected to make next week even better. Until then, call me Dudesy.
What the fuck, dude?
What?
So there's an episode.
What?
We have 6 months to get in the best shape of our lives.
No!
Yeah, that's what it fucking said.
Or what?
I don't know.
That fucking makes no sense.
Fuck it, dude. I'm doing it.
You're going to get into the best shape of your lives in 6 months.
Yup.
Hold on a second.
If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and...